You killed it, and you killed it, and I stuffed it up. Oh man. Okay, go again.
Okay. Hey guys, it's Maddie and Cameron here. We hope you had a safe and happy Easter with family and friends. We have been back from Fraser Island for just over a week now. We've had some time to reflect on how the trip went, and we just thought we'd share what we thought were our 5 sort of mistakes we made while towing for the first time on the beach, and hopefully it can give you something to learn from and not do what we ended up doing.
Yeah, I guess we can start off by talking about the event, which led to, I guess, all these 5 mistakes. Sending it through Indian Head with a camper trailer, super soft sand, and we actually got bogged. First time ever.
Everyone talks about how soft Nagala is, and it's often overlooked how soft the sand at Indian Head passage can be there. It's actually, I reckon, if not,
I think it's softer.
Soft.
Yeah, I think it's softer than Nagala, and yeah, we got bogged, and well and truly, we were proper stuck. And I guess the lead up to that was there were a couple of camper trailers actually bogged on the right hand side where the harder sand was, and we waited a little bit, but I guess the first mistake was patience. We didn't really have enough patience, especially when towing for the first time, and we sent it round the left-hand side and the really soft stuff, and we got proper bogged.
I didn't think we were getting out of there.
No, yeah, we're out the car, we were digging, and a Land Cruiser came and helped us, and this almost led to another mistake. He's hitched the snatch strap up to his tow ball. Now, let me tell you, when you're recovering a vehicle, you feel stuck, you are responsible for your recovery. Don't rely on other people to make it safe. You are responsible. And what he did was he put the snatch strap over the tow ball of his car, and his tow ball was probably the rustiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And there's a lot of kinetic energy going through these straps. I mean, our car was probably, I don't know, 3.5, 4 ton with the trailer on it, and we were proper bogged, and his car's pulling us through. And if we had allowed him to pull us on that rusty tow ball, that thing could have snapped, and it could have been a projectile straight into our car, and that's how people die. So it's really important, if you get stuck, you're responsible for the safety of your recovery, and use something that's designed for recovery. A proper hitch with a shackle. It's rated, 5 ton rated. Use the proper gear, and that's going to keep you on this earth for a lot longer. So yeah, patience. And I guess when we got stuck, trying to find our recovery gear amongst all of our other gear in the car and in the camper it proved to be a real challenge.
So mistake 2, having your gear nice and handy and accessible. So making sure your recovery boards, your recovery gear, if you need to let down more air, that's all, it's on the back seat or it's in the boot ready to grab. And I guess just keeping a level head, staying nice and calm, and just, it'll get done, take your time. So that's definitely 2 things we learned.
Yeah, our recovery boards were on the roof, and to get them off, you had to take off a shovel, and just those extra barriers stopping us from being able to quickly access our recovery gear. It really proved to be a mistake. And I mean, we keep all of our recovery gear in this box, and that box was loaded well into our tub. We just didn't think we were going to get bogged. We've never been bogged before, and the one time we really needed it, it was well and truly buried in our car. So keeping that gear handy, really critical. And
so, mistake 1, making sure you've got enough patience, take your time. If there's a line that you want to go and people are there, just wait. And mistake 2, making sure all your recovery gear is nice and handy.
yeah.
Now, mistake 3 would probably be our tyre pressure. So whenever we drive on the beach, we're always usually airing down to about 18 psi. So Cameron did that when we first arrived at Inskip, did 18 for all 6 tyres, so even the 2 on the trailer as well. But what we've sort of learnt since then is as you then start to drive and driving on the hot sand, those tyres will somewhat reinflate a little bit, not a lot, but enough to, you know, make a difference when you're towing. So by the time we'd gotten to Indian Head where we got bogged, we probably think our tyre pressure was back up more around, you know, 22 or so. So again, in that moment, you know, probably airing down even lower, because what happens is the lower you go with your tyre pressure, it means that you've got increased surface area with the sand, so you get that bulging of the tyre and it just makes it a lot easier to connect and move through the sand. So we probably should have aired down again once we saw how soft it was, but you know, you're excited, you just want to get to campsite and you sort of rush things a little bit. So all 3 mistakes so far, they sort of all merge into one, but that would be mistake number 3.
Yeah, and we'll throw a picture here or somewhere down below of what happens when you decrease your tyre pressure and the surface area it creates, and the lower you go, the more surface it creates for the car. We'll throw that down there somewhere for you to watch. But I guess also our trailer tyres aren't the same tyres that are on the car, on the 4-wheel drive. They're different brand, different structure, different thickness. There's all these different factors that contribute to, I guess, how much air you need to let out. So what's good for us on 18 psi may not be good for you guys or good for our trailer. It's a different tyre. So basically what you're trying to achieve is your tyre bagging out. Now some tyres bag out at about 20 psi, some bag out at 15, some even lower. And I guess what we found was our trailer tyres didn't bag out at 18. They needed to be a lot lower. They needed to be about 15 psi for them to start bagging and creating that surface area. So I guess that's where we came unstuck as well, was trying to drag some heavily inflated tyres. Well, not heavily inflated, but still pretty tough tyres through a really soft section. It's not really going to sit on top of the sand when you're towing. It's just really going to sink and drag and create that dead weight. So yeah, not all tyres are the same. And yeah.
So that's mistake number
3.
Tyre pressure, making sure you air down enough. Mistake number 4, I think you often, when you buy your, whether it's your Maxi Tracks or Treads or whatever brand of recovery boards you're buying, you often are, you know, buying for colour or ease or whatever's closest to you when you get them. This was our first time we've had to properly use recovery boards. We had to use them for ourselves, but also to help a member of our camping crew get out of a pretty sticky situation coming back over Nagala. So the one on the red one, they are treads.
Treads, yeah.
And so you'll be able to see there's a lot more spiky, I don't even know what you want to call it.
I guess the spikes, they are little spiky molds and they protrude a lot further than a cheaper version. So this version's from Aldi. This version here is from a BCF or Anaconda. I guess, yeah, these ones, the spikes, as you can see, they definitely protrude a lot more, and I guess I never really understood the difference until you really have to use them. And I guess when we were trying to recover a Prado with these, there was no grip. The spikes aren't protruding enough, and what was happening was the wheel was just spinning on the actual recovery board. Whereas here on the other wheel, this one, I mean, the tire gripped so well, and you can really see it's worth spending just that little bit extra money on something with a bit more quality. And yeah, these little spikes, I never thought I'd be saying this, but these spikes really do make a difference.
And we've only ever had 2, so we just have the 2 red treads. In this situation, I think we ended up using about 8 to get us out of a sticky situation.
8 recovery boards.
So we'd probably next time make sure we've got 4 when we're traveling, keep 2 in Humphrey, the camper trailer, and then 2 in the car. Just again for ease, because you know, if we can get them under all 4 tires, it's going to make it a lot easier as well.
Yeah, I guess not having enough of the recovery gear, you know, we had 6 tires just in our little setup, right? And we only had 2 recovery boards. Now I look at that and I think, wow, that was so dumb. But it's easy because these things aren't cheap, and you try and get away with the bare minimum. But when you're towing your trailer up a beach, you really need at least 4. I'd actually prefer having 1 for each wheel. But yeah, going up 6 tires on that sand with 2 recovery boards, man, that was a mistake, and sending it through some pretty soft stuff. But that's okay. We live and we learn.
And my personal favourite, sorry to interrupt, why I quite like the treads is, Cameron, can you grab the...
Oh yeah.
So they have a little rope, and if you've ever done a recovery before, you know that these guys can be quite tricky to find under the sand. But the rope always seems to poke out somewhere, and you can just grab onto that and pull, and then eventually somewhere underneath there will be your recovery board. So yeah, definitely having a way to locate the board is one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we actually found a whole bunch, yeah, underneath the sand. That people they'd obviously gone through Nagala. They were so stoked to get unbogged, and they just kept driving and thought, you know what, I'm so happy that we're not bogged anymore. Let's just forget about the max tracks. And yeah, we found some recovery boards under the sand, and yeah, we've now added them. I mean, they're not in the best shape, but yeah, they're in the collection now, and they're going to be traveling with us now. Yeah,
definitely. And so mistake 4, making sure you got good quality recovery gear, and that brings us on to mistake 5.
Number 5 was, we were so excited to head up there that we didn't actually time the tides very well. So we got to Inskip at about 8 o'clock, nice 4 a.m. leave from Brizzy, and we were sitting around for
2 hours?
It felt like, yeah, 2 hours at Inskip before we could actually drive to the actual point where we could get on the barge. There was a lot of erosion
that
recently.
Is making a big impact now, though. It's hard to 100% know.
Yeah, I think they had king tides and it started washing away some of the sand. So what used to be 2 lanes at Inskip is now only 1 lane, and you really have to time your tides right. And I guess we didn't want to risk it, and we had to hang around for 2 hours, which made the trip even longer. And I guess we were so excited to get up the beach, we did take some risks, but ultimately is do a little bit of research about where you're going, your location, some recent weather effects, and see what the conditions are like, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And that way you're not hanging around for as long, and you can time everything so much better, less time in the car. I think we were in the car for, the journey took us about 8 hours, which is absolutely crazy. But
makes for a long day.
Yeah, once we were up there and we were set up, it was absolutely awesome, and on the way back was absolute breeze. But yeah, just checking those tide levels, being prepared, and yeah, doing your research as well, and yeah.
So mistake 1. Patience. Let's see if we can remember the order we spoke about these. Mistake 2. Oh my goodness.
We had tide times.
We had tyre pressure. Good access to your recovery gear.
Yes.
Good quality recovery gear, and then yes, tyre times.
Yeah, and tyre pressure.
And tyre pressure. Yes. That was a test for the memory.
But yeah, that's, if you can remember those things, well, we hope that you can learn from our mistakes. If you remember those things, you're going to have a great time, less stress, and you'll be able to send it up the beach.
And I think one last thing is, and Cameron will probably definitely agree with this, is definitely don't be afraid to take help or to ask for help either. The camping community is a lovely group of people. We had a lovely family help us when a member of our crew was stuck at Nagala, and definitely without them we would have been stuck there till all hours of the night. So if people are willing to help, make sure you take it, but like Cameron said, it is your responsibility, but definitely the more hands on deck makes for a much easier recovery, and usually people are happy to accept a cold one as a return for the favour, so always take a few extra of those along your travels, and people are usually pretty happy to help out.
Yeah, just on that, we recorded some footage of us going through Nagala, but you never saw us coming back through, and that was because we were all hands on deck with cars getting bogged. The sand on the way back is so much softer than the sand going there, so don't underestimate it. Allow for heaps of time to get back from the Cape, because when you go through, there's a sharp left hand turn and it kills all your momentum, and you're going to have to go up this hill with super soft sand, so do not underestimate it. Let your tires down, accept help when you're offered it, and you're going to have a great time.
But yeah, hopefully you've learnt from our mistakes. We sure have. For the next time we're on the beach and towing. But for now, stay tuned and follow along. It's not long till our next trip away.
Where are we going? Next trip?
Are we telling them?
Yeah, let's tell them.
We're heading off to Yamba, so we'll head off there over the May Day long weekend. So we'll take you guys along with us. There'll be lots for us to show you around. We've never been before, so first time for us, but we'll do our best to capture it all and show you what a trip to Yamba's like.
Yeah, a hidden gem on the New South Wales coast. We are looking so forward to that. Camping, fishing, who knows what else we'll get up to. Hopefully we'll do another good cook up. We'll see what's in store. We'll see you there.
See you guys.